Hey fitness friends, Coach Andres here with the Strength Cave. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about how you can add cardio to your training program. Within the lifting community, there's sort of this underlying joke that cardio sucks and that you don't need anything besides weightlifting to be fit. But I know that there's still a lot of closet cardio enthusiasts out there who enjoy going on a run or hiking from time to time. How do I know? Well, because I am one of those closet cardio enthusiasts. Plus, I get quite a few DMs from people who want to know how they can add cardio to their training program without messing up their progress. Before I forget, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button below. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and sending me all of your DMs there so that way I know what kind of videos that you guys want to see from me. So when it comes to adding cardio to your training program, you can't just jump right in and start running 5 miles a day, because that's a surefire way to burn yourself out and halt your progress completely. I recommend that you start out by adding a small amount of cardio once or twice a week. As you start to notice that your fitness is improving, then you can start adding more time to each session or even add a second or third session. Along those same lines, you're going to have to find the right balance for you as far as how much cardio you're doing and how much strength training you're doing. The way I look at it is that there's sort of a sliding scale between cardio and strength training within the overall fitness program. So if you're trying to maximize your strength and muscle mass, then you'll want to slide the scale more towards that end of things and maybe only do cardio once or twice a week. But if you're working towards a specific cardio-based goal, then you're going to want to slide the scale more toward that end of things and lift a little bit less throughout the week. And you also need to take intensity into account as far as how much training overall you're able to do. Doing a lot of low intensity cardio likely isn't going to impact your recovery that much to the point that you're not going to be able to train hard in the gym. But try doing sprints or 2K row repeats every day and you're going to definitely see a considerable decline. Now don't get me wrong, it is possible to juggle a high amount of cardio and lifting. After all, we have professional athletes whose job is to basically exercise hard every day. But keep in mind that those people have built up their fitness for years in order to be able to handle that intense training from day to day. They also tend to have their nutrition dialed in, their sleep dialed in, they spend money on recovery, and they usually have coaches who build the perfect program for them. So if you're really looking to push the limits of your fitness, you're going to want to make sure you're doing the same thing. If you're interested in coaching, make sure that you click the link in the description below. That way you and I can have a conversation on what kind of program is best for you. Okay, so now that I've gotten through some of the theory, how about some practical examples of how you can add cardio to your training program? Actually, one of my favorite ways to add cardio to my program is to do cardio within an actual strength training session. For example, I might superset something like heavy squats or deadlifts with a few minutes on the air bike in between sets. I'm not trying to push myself super hard on the air bike during those few minutes, but I'm keeping a good moderate pace. And of course, I don't do this every time I squat or deadlift heavy. It's really only in certain pre-planned sessions where I feel the need to want to keep moving rather than just sitting around. And another way I'll incorporate cardio into my training sessions is by doing some circuits or some strength-based conditioning, either as my whole workout or as like a finisher to my workout. For example, a workout might just consist of doing 10 rounds of 10 pull-ups, 10 dips, and a 400-meter run. I'm aiming for high quality reps on the strength-based portion of the workout, and then I'm pushing a sort of tough but sustainable pace on the cardio component. And if I'm doing that as a finisher, I might only do 3 or 4 rounds, but keep the reps and the run distance the same. But maybe you're not somebody who likes mixing cardio with heavy lifting, you prefer to keep them separate, and you're just looking to add some steady state cardio to your program. One easy way would be to just add some cardio to your rest days from the gym. Let's say you are lifting 4 days per week and you want to start adding some running to the mix. What you could do is take one of your rest days and add 15 to 20 minutes of jogging to that day. As you adapt to that running, you have two options. You could either slightly increase the running time, say by 5 minutes every couple of weeks, or you could increase the pace of that running and keep the length the same. You can keep doing this every few weeks until you get to the point where you're running the amount and at the intensity that you're satisfied with. And of course, eventually you could add a second session or even a third session, depending on how much running you want to do. But what if you want to add some cardio to the mix, but you just get really bored by steady state cardio and doing the same thing the whole time? A really fun way that I found to get some cardio into my clients' programs is something that I call aerobic intervals. Basically, you pick 3 to 4 different cardio modalities and do 1 to 2 minutes of work on each of them before resting and then repeating that circuit. For example, you could do some treadmill running, kettlebell swings, battle ropes, and walking lunges for 1 minute each before resting, say 1 to 2 minutes, and then repeating all of that again. This way you don't get as bored with doing the same thing throughout the whole time, and you can kind of push the pace a little bit harder since you do have those rest periods in between rounds. Again, this can be done on your rest days from lifting, and you can increase the amount of time and intensity that you use, similar to the way I explained with the steady state cardio. And finally, I know that a lot of you are probably really interested in sprint work or high intensity interval training. So when it comes to really intense cardio like HIIT, I typically like to have my clients do their sprint work on the same day as their heavy lower body training. That way they're putting all of that intense work for their lower body on the same day, which gives them enough time to recover for the next session. So you can start out by putting a few sprints at the end of one of your training sessions. It may actually be a smart thing for you to start at, say, 80 to 90% effort and then ramping that up to 100% effort over the next week or two. As your fitness improves, you could then add 1 or 2 sprints on top of that every few weeks until you're doing, say, 5 to 8 sprints at the end of these sessions. Of course, you're going to want to monitor your recovery and make sure that things feel good, and if so, then you can look to add a second cardio session at some other day in the week. If you look to add a second HIIT session, make sure you start slow again and monitor yourself so that way you make sure that you're not negatively impacting your recovery. Alright guys, so don't be ashamed of your fondness for cardio, even if you're somebody who's trying to get bigger and stronger. If it's truly something you enjoy doing, then it's never a bad idea to put it into your training program. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and give me a follow on Instagram, and don't hesitate to reach out if you're needing some help in putting together your perfect training program. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys next time.